Good afternoon. This is cause number 2022-20791 in the interest of Ira Dickerson. Please raise your right hand to be sworn, ma'am. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
All right, please state your name and your relationship to this child.
I'm Amanda Slipsovic, and I'm O'Reilly Dickerson's mother.
And representing the Attorney General, State of Texas.
Andrea Eoff.
Court will note that the non-custodial parent is Brian Dickerson. Mr. Dickerson was served under Texas Rules of Civil Procedure 106 on October 26, 2022 at 9:41 a.m. at 2033 Willow Wisp Drive in Seabrook, Harris County, Texas. His usual place of residence, and he has not filed an answer or made an appearance. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, we'll proceed by default.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this point in time, I'd like to call Ms. Slipsovic.
All right.
All right. Ms. Slipsovic, will you please state your full name for the record?
Amanda Lee Slipsovic.
And will you state the name and age of your child?
It's O'Reilly Dickerson, and she's age 11.
All right. And Mr. Dickerson signed an acknowledgement of paternity, acknowledging that he is her father. Is that correct?
Yes.
And would you like for the court to declare that he is her legal father today and establish the parent-child relationship between them?
Yes.
All right. Now, you and Mr. Dickerson lived together until March of 2020. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And during the course of your relationship, you experienced quite a bit of violence at his hands. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And during that time, he repeatedly drugged you and raped you, and he beat you, and at one point in time shot at you. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you received a protective order from the 280th District signed December 4th, 2020, under cause number 2020-69379 to protect you against him. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, to protect you from him. And he has since violated that protective order. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And he has stalked you outside your home and shown up drunk to your house and tried to force his way in. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And has he called in family members and other people to attempt to intimidate you when he found out that you were going to pursue child support?
Yes, definitely. Yes, ma'am.
And is he currently incarcerated because he violated that protective order?
Yes, he is.
And he's also incarcerated because he failed a drug test that was part of his probation conditions. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you believe that it would be in your child's best interest if you were made her sole managing conservator and Mr. Dickerson was made a possessory conservator, given the history of violence and his history of drug use?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And are you asking the court to make a finding of family violence based on the violations of the protective order that occurred in the 2 years prior to the filing of this suit?
Yes, ma'am.
Because of the presence of the protective order and the violence between you guys, are you asking that Mr. Dickerson be ordered to have visitation through the Harris County Domestic Relations Office on their schedule if and when he is released from incarceration?
Yes.
All right. And would you like for the court to make a finding that he's not allowed to consume alcohol or illegal substances 12 hours prior to or during any visitation with your child?
Yes, please.
Okay. And would you like to be ordered to continue providing Medicaid for your child?
Yes, ma'am.
And would you like for Mr. Dickerson to be ordered to pay $0 in cash medical support because he's currently incarcerated?
Yes, ma'am.
And that would begin February 1st, 2023, correct?
Yes.
And would you like for the court to order that Mr. Dickerson pays $0 in child support beginning February 1st, 2023 due to his incarceration?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, in the time period between March of 2020, when you separated, and today, Mr. Dickerson was free for some of that time, and then he was also incarcerated for a total of 15 months through multiple arrests. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And whenever you guys lived together, you know that he worked as an inspector. Is that right? For a family inspection company?
Yes.
And you know from your knowledge of family finances that whenever he was working as an inspector at that point in time, he had an average gross monthly salary of, of $8,571.15. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like for the court to make a judgment against him for retroactive support in the amount of $26,700?
Yes, please.
And that amount is reduced from the original tally of $46,725 to give him credit for those 15 months that he was incarcerated. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
All right. And we are not going to be ordering a payout at that time because he's incarcerated, right?
Yes, ma'am.
At this time.
Yes.
All right. So given the fact that you have a protective order against this man that is going to last until 2025, and his multi-year pattern of stalking and harassing you, are you asking that the court make a finding of non-disclosure and keep your address and phone number confidential and not print it in this order?
Yes, please.
Thank you. I have no further questions and pass this witness.
All right, the court will approve the order as submitted.